Hello everyone and welcome to the YouTube live talk by Ottobock. It's a very special day today for us. It's the first birthday of the Genium X4, the microprocessor knee that really changed the life of many of us here. Yeah, we want to celebrate this special day together with you. We have quite a special group of people here. We have users here. We have people here who were involved in the development process. But we also want to share this with you. So please, in the comments, write where you're calling in from. Write your questions you have to us later. But right now, it's time for us to celebrate this special knee. It's time to celebrate 1 year of using it. Today, we want to share our experiences. We want to share the challenges we mastered with this new knee. We want to share our little stories, our big stories. But we also want to hear some tech talk from people who have been involved in the development of this knee. Yeah, so join us, call your friends, tell them to join us. Yeah, and get ready, think about the questions you have towards me, towards the other users, towards the tech team, or towards each other. That might also be an option. Yeah, but that's enough from my side right now. Let's probably have a look at who is here today. First of all, Alessandro, welcome.
Hey there, nice to meet you. It's a pleasure being here.
Yeah, then there's Zainab.
Hello, everyone. And as we say from my country, hello, Allah. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm so excited to go through this conversation and celebration.
Pleasure is on our side. So I'm going to skip myself. Jörg.
Moin and hello to everyone. I'm proud to be here.
That's nice. Then we're moving on from Jörg to Sven.
Hello from my side. It's a pleasure to be here and part of this group.
And last but not least, at least live here in Duderstadt, Malte.
Yeah, hello from my side as well. Good morning, good day, and good evening all around the world.
Yeah, and it's not only us here. Unfortunately, one of our colleagues didn't make it here today because she's very, very busy. But I'm welcoming live from Madrid in Spain today, Desirée. Desirée, a quick hello from your side.
Hi, hello from the sunny Spain.
Yeah, it's lovely you're joining us. It's a pity we can't welcome you here, but you're here now, with us in spirit. And we're also going to hear a bit more from you later in the discussion. Yeah, as I say, it's a day to celebrate. So grab something to drink, make yourself comfortable and enjoy 60 minutes of infotainment at its best. Before I have the pleasure and the honor to actually chat with all of you more in detail, probably let me say a few words about myself. And what would make that easier than just showing you a few pictures from my life? Always nice seeing these pictures again. Yeah, my name is Björn. I'm going to moderate the show today. I'm going to be your host for today. Probably a few words about myself. As you've seen, I'm a buff amputee. I'm a buff knee amputee, and I've been so for 20 years by now, I think. The amputation was in 2005. Yeah, as a kid, as a young person, I had bone cancer, and so that's a long-term result of bone cancer, and I'm really happy with the amputation, I must say. I can be much more active than before. Yeah, I'm the founder of and the shaker and maker of TheActiveAmputee, a resource page for people with limb loss, limb differences. I do that as a pet project in my spare time. I also have a real job. There I'm working in an international development corporation, and I run a training service which is called the Peace Building Practitioner. The name gives it away. It's all about conflict and peace building work. Yeah, and I like to spend time outdoors, do a lot of things with my kids, and like the on and off adventure. So much about myself, but I think that's enough for now. And now I have the pleasure of welcoming the first guest here today. The first guest, Alessandro. We already saw him over there a minute ago. He's here with me right now from Italy. Alessandro, welcome. But before I talk to you, let's see a little video from you too. Wow, that looks like an active lifestyle. Alessandro, it's lovely having you here today and having the chance to chat. Yeah, we've seen a few pictures from you. We've seen this little animation, the video. It looks like you feel at home. You feel very passionate about sports, all kinds of sports, track and field, paddleball, you name it. Tell us a bit more about yourself and tell us a bit more about your life.
Yes, of course. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure, really, and an honor to be here. And I see a lot of sports in this video, and this is amazing because my life is like that, you know. And yeah, I'm a Paralympic athlete.
Yeah.
I made 2 Paralympics, and it's an honor. And I'm really proud of this path in Tokyo in 2021 and Paris 2024. I tell you, it's an honor because it's a huge work from all the team for being there, from the physical part, psychological part, and also for sure the prosthetic part. So a real pleasure. After the Paralympics, I decided to found an association that is called Bionic People. This association has the goal to change the concept of disability and diversity and try to help people to never give up. We have different kind of projects active in the school, in the university, in the business, but even in the sport, obviously, with paddle. You see the video?
Yes.
We realized the inclusive paddle tour, that it's an enormous circuit played in 3 continents where people with and without disability plays together.
Great, that sounds really amazing. As we're celebrating today 1 year of the Genium X4, you've been using the knee now for quite some time. Tell us a bit more about the role that knee plays in your day-to-day life. And for you, obviously, day-to-day life means a lot of sports, but I guess there's more to it, so also in your non-sporty life.
Yes, of course. I came from another device, but I can tell you that after 10 years of prosthetic limb, with the Genium X4, it's a jump in the future. The most important stuff is that you don't have to think. I give you an example. I want to start to walk. I can start with my prosthetic limb. It seems something normal. It's not. Yeah. It's huge. It's a game changer. I give another example. I love to do bicycle. You have just to do bicycle. You don't need to think. You need to live. That is the important stuff, I think.
That you talked about it being very intuitive. You said, I don't have to think. I can just do what I want to do. I concentrate on the joy, on the pleasure I have when I do things, and I don't have to think about, oh, do I change modes? Do I have to shift my weight? Do I have to put something special there? That sounds amazing. I know you have been to Iceland. It sounds like a demanding environment to walk, probably even with 2 non-prosthetic feet, but what does it mean actually walking there with a prosthesis?
As I told you, it's a game changer. With X4, I concentrate and I focus just on enjoy Iceland. That, as you can imagine, it's a difficult land with different kind of surfaces, and I feel always comfortable and always safety. That I think it's the most important stuff when you are using an electronic knee.
Yeah. What was the most memorable souvenir, so to speak, your memory from your travels?
There are a lot. I've been in. I swim with the sharks. I mean, I was with in Iceland in a very difficult path and journey. But every time I do a step, I feel comfortable, and this is something that I keep in my heart forever, because I was afraid to have an adventure like that, but I enjoy totally, and so it's fantastic.
And I think what you point out is so important, the more intuitive it is using a prosthesis in demanding, challenging environments, the more safe we feel, the safer we feel, the more confident we become, the more we extend our, we pull down barriers and say, no, this shouldn't hold me back. This actually is possible. And it's not possible by being daring and suicidal, but it's possible by just enjoying it.
Yes, of course. In day-by-day life, sports, as you see in the video, doing paddle, for example, are different kind of movements, and you are safety in all that kind of movements that are so difficult, and with a normal knee you cannot do it. So this is crazy, huh?
I'm not sure if it's crazy, but it sure sounds great. Alessandro, thank you very much. We still have the chance to chat a bit later together with the group, but for now, thank you very much. It's been a real pleasure.
See you later.
Yeah. And with that, I would like to straight away welcome our second guest. The second guest brings us right away into a completely different world. I would like to welcome Jörg. Yeah, it's been a real pleasure. We already had the chance to meet a few times in the last year and a half.
Yeah.
Again, the intro video is just stunning. I'm not sure if I'm in awe, if I'm fearful, or if I'm just flabbergasted of what you're doing. You're a passionate skydiver, but you also otherwise you like an active lifestyle, you like sports, you like a lot of adventure activities. Tell us a bit more about yourself. Tell us about your history and also what is it that you are doing with the X4?
Yeah, I'm Jörg. I'm 42 years now old. I'm an IT consultant, but yeah, I raised as a kid with this pleasure to being in this sport already, because my dad has just like some activities around there. So raised on the airfield, and it's really amazing to have this like big playground.
Yeah.
And in 2010 I started with skydiving, also with indoor skydiving, and that's my mostly sport, but I do also actively things, and I like this to be active. And then I had a bad accident, and so I'm amputee through the knee. With the knees from Ottobock, I'm already can be active as much as possible.
As the video just showed us.
Yes.
Yeah, but let me probably move away a bit from these mind-boggling adventures you do in your day-to-day life. If you think about the little moments, probably the majority of the moments in life, where you say, this is how my normal life goes day to day, day in, day out.
Yeah.
In how far does this need make a difference to these little moments, not to the big adventures?
Yeah, especially in these little moments, you don't have to think about what you have to do or in which way you have to do. So you just can start walking. You just can start running. You just can walk backwards, or you just can hold the hand of your partner or whatever. You can go upwards. You can go on steps, whatever. Just do it. Don't think about it. Just be safe. And you have the comfortability. It's really, really awesome to walk just a good knee.
Yeah, that resonates a lot with my own experience. It also resonates with what Alessandro just told us. Yeah. As we know, these knees have a lot of inbuilt features where you say you don't even have to think about it. You want to do something, you start initiating a certain movement, and the knee just knows what you want to do. But there are also certain my modes, special settings. Is there something in terms of the things where you have active control through your phone or so? One of the settings where you say, wow, that for me really is my favorite?
Yeah, to be honest, I don't have any my mode on my phone. I just use the knee just as it is. But for just one example, I just work a lot in IT business, and it's not like a lot of being sitting. I'd also like to be standing, and just like standing on the knee. So just like use the stand function of, for example, in the everyday to day life, or just like using walking, because it's so easy and so natural.
Great, not even needing to swap, not even adding my modes, because the knee just does what you needed to do. Yeah, great. Yeah, that was really nice hearing from you, also seeing you in action. We're gonna hear a bit more from you later, but for now, let me thank you, and let me invite the next guest. And now we're moving even further into the world. I would like to welcome Zainab. And again, I think the best way to introduce Zainab is by just showing a little video. Zainab, such a pleasure welcoming you here. It's the first time I meet you, and it's a real honor, I must say. You're a legend in the social media world. From this little intro video, we have seen that you seem to be traveling quite a lot.
Yes.
You seem to be having speaking engagements quite a lot. You seem to be quite daring. I saw you hanging off a cliff there, and that's probably just a tiny little snippet of your life. Tell us a bit more about yourself, and tell us a bit more, why are you here today? And I see a beautiful happy birthday
to show this, guys. We're celebrating the Genium X4, and that's an amazing milestone. What?
Thank you for pimping it that way.
Yes.
That is lovely.
Yes.
But back to you. I mean, tell us a bit more about yourself.
I think we share a lot, like your love for nature, adventures, and so on. And honestly, that so resonates with me. So as you said, I'm a content creator, and I do motivational speaks, and I do a lot of things on the side as well. Coming back to my story, I lost my leg when I was almost 7 years old. In my home country, Iraq. Unfortunately, Iraq has been through so much in terms of wars and so on. And I always say it, when a war is over, it's never over, because there are things left over and so on. So I lost my leg due to something explosive. We had no idea. We used it to fix my bicycle. And unfortunately, it exploded by then. And my father also lost his hand. And long story short, then followed by a medical mistake. And since then, I had the amputation. It's been a journey, but honestly, my amputation taught me so much about self-love, encouragement, power, discovering yourself, and building that beautiful relationship with your prosthesis that I like to call my partner.
Yeah.
Yes.
Your partner in adventure.
True.
Yeah. You just said we have a lot in common. As I said, we meet for the first time today, but yes, we have a lot in common, because if I'm not mistaken, you also got this prosthesis right away when it was introduced to the world back at the OT World in Leipzig a year ago. If you think back of that very moment when you said, okay, from now on, this is my partner. Describe the first day with your new partner.
Actually, at the OT World, I was introduced to it, but I started using the Genium X4 at the Paralympics. So it was such a beautiful moment and such a great surprise from the team, like, hey, take the X4. To experiment and at the same time to be inspired by all the athletes. And I think, like, it really took my heart, especially our hotel was having two different entrances. It's either the lift or a way that is too steep to go up. So when I was just going back to the hotel and just starting to go through the steep way, I just felt there's someone pushing me. And I swear, I turned back, I'm like, what's happening here? And then I remember the feature that it helps you, it supports you to go uphill. And I was so amazed. I'm like, hey, where have you been?
Yeah, that is something for the audience, as the Genium X4 has this supported uphill walking function, which makes such a big difference for us. Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah. You said this is your partner. For me, I very often call this an adventure enabler, because it allows me to push my boundaries a bit more.
Sure.
You're traveling a lot. What was the most adventurous travel you did with the X4?
I think, again, the Paralympics, because we were literally non-stop going to different places, and I was there to support the team at all stadiums, all kind of activities, and I was like on the go 24/7. So that was a packed adventure for 2 weeks, and it was just eye-opening for all kind of features, I would say.
Yeah. And I would like to probably shift our attention a bit. You just said, okay, for you, a good prosthesis also means self-love, acceptance, body image, and being at ease with yourself.
Sure.
What would you say, and how much or how far is a good prosthesis, modern technology, good prosthetic care important to also increase inclusion, acceptance, as you say?
It is. It's super important. I can't imagine myself, like, honestly, I was just thinking about it today, actually, when I was getting ready for the live talk, that how impressive is technology. Like, it enabled us, it empowered us, it changed our lives. It's something that makes you feel that you don't have to pay extra effort to think or to adapt, because it just made it so much easier that you can just go for the things that you want. even if it's too risky, too adventurous, too much limitations, there's always a way, you know, it just makes it easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And mobility shouldn't be a luxury.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. And I think we probably pick that topic up again later in our group discussion when we're sitting back there. But for now, thank you very much. It's been a real pleasure. And I'll see you in a second.
Same here. Thanks.
And with that, I would like to actually move from our face-to-face discussions and invite Desirée straight from Madrid. Desirée, it's lovely having you here. But before we chat a bit more, let's also see a little video from you. Welcome, Desirée. It's lovely having you here. And just watching again this amazing little snippets from your life, you seem to be very, very active. Tell us a bit more about yourself and your life.
Yeah, I think we're all super active, which is good. I think doing sports is very important for people with disabilities. And I'm actually a Paralympic athlete, just like Alessandro. I also went to both Tokyo 2020 and Paris 2024. And before my athletics career, I was a gymnast. So that's actually how I lost my leg. I was part of the Spanish team. I was competing internationally, and I broke my leg doing an acrobatics when I was 16 years old. So that was already 10 years ago. So it was difficult to realize that I had to change my way of living, everything I was doing. But then actually, once I got my first prosthesis, I realized I could do everything again. I just had to take more time to learn again how to do the things. But this didn't limitate the things I was doing, and I actually did more things that I was doing before my amputation.
Yeah, that sounds great. You're a Paralympic athlete. What are the in which sports are you currently competing?
Well, I do long jump. So you can imagine I do a lot of work on the gym as well. I lift, right now we're lifting really heavy weights on the gym because that also helps up with the power when the speed on running and then jumping. And I'm actually competing this Saturday in Barcelona. That's why I cannot be there physically. So it's very sad that I can't not be with you guys to celebrate, but I hope it's for a good reason.
I'm very sure we fully understand that, and you're here you are here with us in spirit. When we think of professional sports people, when we think of the Paralympics, we very often see people using special sports equipment. Now, you probably have a lot of special equipment, but you also have the X4. Can you tell us what is it, when are you using the X4, and when does it actually come in handy in your normal sport, and when are you swapping over to special equipment?
Well, I think the X4 is useful for everything, really, not just for an active lifestyle, but when doing athletics, I use the blade for running, for long jumping. But then, as I said already, we do a lot of gym workouts. We have to do functional exercises. We have to do water-based training, as you saw on the video. That's mainly on pre-season. So we do that to work our whole body with water. We don't need to worry about the knee breaking because it's waterproof, and it's also very helpful in the water to do all of the technique exercises that are going to be helpful for later on in the season, and as well to prevent for having injuries. So the prosthesis, really, the X4 distributes the effort in a more balanced way. So when you only have one leg, you need to be really careful not to overstretch that leg. And with the X4, that's really easy because it gives you the confidence to do all the exercises, the deep squats, the deadlifts, and even balance exercises. So in my daily life, it's helping a lot, but especially when it comes to high level sports training, it's really makes the difference.
Yeah. You just mentioned always the risk of injuries, especially when you're in the competition season. I know you have been struggling with an injury, but also there you could right away see the benefits of having a waterproof prosthesis, which actually can take quite a lot of exercise. Can you tell us a bit more about your water training?
Yes, actually, I tore my calf muscle in January. So I had to do all my recovery on the water without compromising the prosthesis. As I said, the Genium X4 is perfect for that. So my experience in the water-based training was really good. And I'm inviting everyone that is listening to this talk that if they have any questions about how to do all of these exercises in the water, they can reach out to me, because it's not only for people who is competing in the Paralympics. I think it's a good kind of exercises for anybody. It doesn't matter your age or your lifestyle. I think it's something really good. And now that we're getting ready for summer, it can also be really helpful for people who want to go on vacation and they're scared about putting the X4 on the water, on the swimming pool, on the beach. And from my experience, you don't really have to worry about anything because it's really smooth. It has the adaptive control function, so it responds smoothly, and you don't really have to worry about getting it wet because it's gonna respond perfectly.
Great, that's a very nice offer. So there is already an offer that people can contact you. And again, that's a reminder that people can send in their questions either to Desirée or to others. And we're going to take the last 10 minutes from this show to answer all your questions. Desirée, thank you very much. Again, you're going to please stay online. You're going to join us later for our joint talk. But for now, thank you very much for your in-depth sharing.
Thank you so much.
And now I would like to welcome Sven. He's already on his way. Sven, nice to see you again. People probably think you're also a user, which you are. You're wearing the X4 probably longer than any one of us here, but at the same time, you're part of the development team here at Ottobock. So you're sitting here with two hats, with a combined head. Tell us a bit more about yourself, and then we're going to dive into the development process and your role in it.
Yeah, I became an amputee in the age of 8. Yeah, really early. It was an accident, farm accident. Then I started to build my own prosthesis because the CPO told me how to do it, and put me with him together in the workshop, and I had to do all the things he did. And yeah, till this time, 13 years old, I built my own prosthesis, and then I learned to become a prosthetist, a CPO, and after my CPO examination, I jumped into the development of Ottobock. Yeah, it started in '99. And from this point on, it was really absolutely, a dream. It's like pushing a child into Legoland and tell him to play the whole day. Yeah.
I think that's very lovely to hear, where you say, well, I lost my leg at 8. I started building my own prosthesis very young. Yeah. And then kind of my path was set. And not because I had to, because the more I did, the more interesting it became. And the better I got, the more doors opened for me. Now, I know for you, you've been an amputee for 40-odd years, so that means you have lots of experiences. With your training as a certified prosthetist and orthotist, you probably have a special sense, a special eye, a special feeling for when you walk, where you say, oh, there are more possibilities. There are things which are not yet fully functioning. There are things which I would like to see in the future. How do you bring that all together, and what did it mean in the development process for this very knee?
To gain this knowledge or this feeling for being a mentalist for prosthesis, something like this.
It's a nice expression.
It started really with a job at Ottobock. I ran through different departments for knee development, foot development, socket development, biomechanics, learned about measurement techniques and sensor technologies and everything. Did more than 1,000 gait analysis with different products, and was able to save it in my brain, all the feelings. And this created the ability to find really things which are much more comfortable and safe for users. And then we try in a team to bring all the things in a product. Yeah, and that's, it's not only my work, it's really a teamwork. Yeah, I can't do something without the knowledge of the other guys, of my colleagues. That means I have an idea, they have an idea, they try to program it, they try to bring it into the mechanics and so on. And then at the end, it should be a big improvement for the users.
Yeah. And interesting, in all the interviews now, in all the chats, we heard about it being intuitive, but we also heard about safety, feeling safe about it, increasing confidence. And at the same time, we always want to make sure, yes, it's safe. At the same time, each new product should enable us to do more things. Mm-hmm. With this one, what was the best improvement for you where you said, oh, this new product now where I have been involved in, what was the new step which it allowed you to do?
For example, walking on level ground. Yeah, normally as an above knee amputee, there's, for example, a special resistance. When the knee starts to bend, the resistance stays there for the whole bending.
Yeah.
And it doesn't differentiate between walking on level ground and going downstairs and so on.
Yeah, yeah.
And this knee joint is now able to really detect all the situations absolutely perfect. Yeah, it knows exactly when I walk on level ground, when to stop the knee joint, that I have the control, what normally my muscles do on the sound side. And then, yeah, when I switch from level walking downstairs and ramps, it knows exactly what to do and how to adjust the resistance, and it's adaptive.
Yeah.
That I feel really comfortable and safe because the behavior is always the same.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that resonates with me. With someone who has a bit of a problem with socket fit, it's good to know that the knee does what it's supposed to do and without thinking about it.
Yeah, and most of the socket fit problems, for example, come also with different or not perfect behaviors.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, when a system works like it should do, then you are able to walk more relaxed. You don't have to compensate things. That makes it much easier to walk the whole day.
Yeah. Maybe one last question. You said, obviously, the development of such a complex high-end product is a team effort. Lots of people are involved. Now, you were one of these people involved. What was your role? And yeah, what was so great about it?
I'm really the test driver, like when you see car development or Formula One.
Yeah.
I sit together from the first idea with the colleagues. We create ideas, then we build prototypes, then we test the prototypes. I will jump after testing, the mechanical testing, on these prototypes to help to develop the behavior in every situation.
Yeah.
That means the programming, all the time testing. That means ramp up, ramp down the whole day. Yeah, walking around the whole day, stairs up, down the whole day. That means all this days of working and finding new support features. Yeah, for me, it's daily training during work.
Yeah, that sounds great. As I said, for you, the little kid being pushed into Legoland, it sounds like a dream job. Thank you very much for sharing your experiences with us. We're also going to chat a bit longer later. For now, I would like to invite one of your teammates, Professor Dr. Malte.
Hi, Björn.
Hi, Malte. Nice to have you here.
Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, Sven was already so kind to say, well, obviously such a product needs the input from lots of experts, lots of people who have a creative mind, who think outside the boxes, who are willing to be daring in the development, and at the same time, to produce something where people can completely rely on, yeah, you're an expert in biomechanics. And obviously, this knee takes a lot of biomechanical principles, biomechanical knowledge. Tell us a bit more about your job at Ottobock, and then we're going to dive into the development process.
Okay, so my job at Ottobock is heading a great biomechanical team. We have a new lab in Göttingen, pretty close to Duderstadt, where we have full equipment installed for these investigations that we do together with patients. So, as you mentioned, we are just a little part of the entire development team, including guys like Sven being pushed into Legoland, as you said before. Yeah, we are, as I said, a team. Besides very smart software engineers, mechanical engineers that work very hard and pretty close together to have a product at the end of the day that works for people overcoming their needs, their injuries and their lack of mobility, maybe to make their life more livable and being as active as we saw in the videos already and being a part of the society.
Yeah, great. When I think about the principles, biomechanical ingenuity, I think very often it's about what people mention is intuitive, not thinking about it. I want to enjoy life. I want to be fully integrated in whatever's happening and not being half of the time thinking about what do I have to do next in order to have mobility. So intuition, but also having an effortless way. Zainab earlier said she was walking up a ramp and thought, is someone pushing me? This is so much easier than I'm used to. What does it mean to reach such a high level with a product?
So first of all, we have to think about that people also having two sound legs are very different. So we try to copy or mimic natural function of the locomotor system and transfer these functionalities into technical solutions. So that's one thing. And we are often asked what's the biggest challenge in developing these things, and you mentioned the word intuition, using these products intuitively, and on the other hand we already heard about the term safety, and the biggest challenge is really riding on the edge between creating a safe product for every single movement or motion situation that you can imagine, but having also the intuitive use means that the patients, the users, don't have to think about where they want to move or how they want to move, and bringing these things together. So a broad range of motion patterns from non-amputees to the individual situations of the users themselves, makes a challenge. And that's the reason what already Sven mentioned before, we have to test with a lot of patients during these development phases from the very early stage, having the first functional prototypes until the ready product. Afterwards, we have to objectify the benefits for the users by conducting clinical studies to prove the efficacy. That then is very important for the insurance situations in different countries all over the world. So, as you said, coming back to intuitive use is we learn all over the development process, and sometimes we also have to skip ideas that we at the beginning had in our minds that the product can work like this or this and this, and these learning phases and these learning curves are already are also implemented into the product functionalities as well. So it's a learning process and a progress within the development.
Yeah, it sounds very complex, sounds also very exciting. But when I think of where you said, okay, we have some ideas what we want to do, we have obviously some legal guidelines, we have obviously safety, warranty, and other issues. And at the same time, we want to provide a product where thousands, tens of thousands of users over the next couple of years with all their individual needs and stories and priorities should be able to use something with confidence, with pride. What does this mean for the development process, and what was the biggest challenge in actually getting that done, offering that?
Yeah, well, we as Ottobock, or the company Ottobock, has experiences in developing microprocessor-controlled knee joints over 30 years. So as I described the development process, we have a lot of experience that is then pushed into the development phases with new products. So we have an idea, but the biggest benefit that we have a huge network with users, and we listen. We listen what they want to do, what they really need, and try to transfer these information into technical functionality. And therefore we have to choose specific sensors or specific actuators, computers, and so on. And the algorithm in the background is the one that really makes the intelligence to the knee joint. And the numerous patients that we have, or users that we are working together with during the development process, makes it available for a broad group of individuals to overcome their limits to live a life as we saw on skydiving or swimming and jumping and all these kind of stuff as normal as possible. And that really makes the unique features that we can provide specifically with the Genium X4.
Great. Thank you for opening the door and allowing us a little sneak preview into the processes. It's been a real pleasure. I'm going to join you when we walk back and we have a chat with the others.
Okay. Just following you.
Hello again.
No.
I hope you enjoyed the time without us here, but not too much. Yeah, that was nice. It would have been lovely to chat a bit more in depth, but I think it was a nice mixture hearing from people from all walks of life with all kinds of experiences, the technical part, the dual heads part, but also the experiences from you. For me, I would like to, it's now 1 year that this product has been on the market. Some have been using it for a full year, some have been using it for a couple of months. I would like you to kind of travel back in time to the very week or the very day you used that product for the first time and just try to feel again, what was it on that day? What put a smile on your face? Or maybe what was something where, oh, this feels different. I first have to get used to it. Whatever were your first impressions, it would be lovely hearing them. Maybe Alessandro, you want to start again?
I was really curious. It was a particular period of my life because I was at the Paralympics when I got the X4 for the first time and I tested, and it was crazy. It was unbelievable. As I told you, it's intuitive. So it was clear in my mind that we achieve an important goal, that is the autonomy. I was totally autonomy. With this kind of leg, I can do everything without necessarily think what I'm doing. I have to check. No anxious. I was really happy to do whatever. And I think this is really impactful in my life. It's totally changing.
Yeah, great. And I can imagine, you're in a special mindset when you're at the Paralympics as someone being there, representing your country, preparing for months, and then suddenly there's something new changing in your life. Really amazing. Zainab, how about you?
It was honestly super exciting. First, because I had no idea that I'm going to be using the Genium X4 by then. So I was already like over the moon. Nice. Exactly. And then I was lucky because Heinrich was there, Heinrich Popov. And you know Heinrich, he's like, yalla, try it to the max, everything now. And I'm like, wee! So first, it was so easy to take the first steps, which is quite important for any user, like how smooth it is. And then we went on a bicycle, like immediately Heinrich's like, okay, we're done with this walking, now we need to cycle, so we can understand like how amazing the safety is. And I was honestly very impressed because back in time, like when you're cycling, you need to switch the mode if you're using any MPK, and sometimes you tend to forget because you're just getting off the bicycle and doop, when you hold the ground, you realize, okay, I forgot to change the mode. And it was impressive that the safety, you don't have to change anything and then back to walking mode, how smooth it is to go upstairs, going up on a steep level. So yeah, it was really beautiful to see how technology is so helpful for users.
Yeah, and having Heinrich by your side, a bit like an Energizer bunny. Oh, now this and this and this.
Sending him warm regards here.
Yeah. Jörg, before we come to you, let me make sure Desirée also gets a chance, because unfortunately she's not here. So I think you should have the chance to share your moment.
Yeah, well, I was actually in Germany the first time I tried the X4. And for me, the most important thing was the facility with which I was going uphill slopes, because that used to be quite challenging. And it just felt super easy, and even walking on uneven terrain. So I was very, very fast trying all the things that I wanted to do with the new knee. And then the security, also what Alessandro was saying, not having to overload my left side, that was also really helpful. So in general, the freedom and the independence that it gives you, I was also very excited because I was one of the first people in the world trying the new X4. So that also makes you feel responsible on the feedback. But yeah, it was super nice.
Yeah. Thank you, Desirée. That's nice to hear. I mean, very often we speak about individual features, individual settings, but I think in general it's these big narratives, independence, living an autonomous life. And obviously every little improvement is much more than a little improvement of some feature, of some mode, but it adds to what you said, a fulfilled, a rewarding, an active life according to our own ideas. Yeah. Jörg.
I just can say, when you are on the other knee and you switch to the X4 for a test, it's like, what? So impressive. It's just like so easy to use. You don't have to think about it. You just can do your active things all. You just walk, you run, you just go upstairs, or just like a hill up. It's so easy. You don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, when you come from the other side, you just need so much power. And so it's so easy to walk with less energy.
And I think that's something which probably for people who are not amputees is very hard to understand in the moment, the effort you need. If you go uphill, obviously it's more energy demanding. It's more, you know, you're sweating and huffing and puffing. But at the same time, by the end of the day, by how much power is left in your battery, if you had a lot of up and down, yeah, it's very hard to communicate, but something that resonates with me. Sven, you had more chance of seeing it in the making still. I also want to give you the chance to, the first time it was more or less the knee you're wearing now.
Yeah, for me it's a little bit difficult to explain, because I did the feeling, or made the experience of feeling step by step. Yeah. For me it was always, we had an idea, okay, how we can fulfill it, that it supports at the end much better than the existing products. And then I had really the stepwise feeling. I had to learn to switch off my compensation behaviors I had with the previous knee joints. Yeah, and even when you think you don't compensate things, when you are walking now with the X4 and then switch back to another knee joint, you immediately know that you compensated a lot. It's like being at the dentist, sitting in the chair, and the dentist starts to drill. Yeah, and then he says, "Oh, relax," and you say, "I am relaxed." You don't notice that you relax, or not
Very nice
doesn't relax.
Yeah. For me, in order to, before we go over to the questions that are already coming in here on the screen, and again, that's my call to action for anyone in the audience. If you have any question to either one of the users, to the technical team, or other questions you would like to ask us, please do so. People behind the scene here will collect them, and we're going to see them, and we probably earmark another 8 minutes or so for going through your question. But here I would like to have really just a quick round, and I'm not a big fan of what is the advice, because we're all different. But I think if you could tell yourself, like your earlier version a couple of years ago, something of your life as an amputee now which you wish you would have had as an advice after your fall, 30-meter fall, or after when you were a 7-year-old kid. So an advice to yourself, one sentence.
Be as active as possible today, not tomorrow. Be strong.
Good. Thank you, Jörg, for kicking off that round. Either one of you. Or, Desirée, just make yourself heard if you want to here.
Yeah, I would say not to worry too much, because at first everything is like, whoa, it seems so difficult, but then it's actually not. And we're talking about how easy it is to walk and to do normal things with the X4. So at first it looked very difficult, but then at the end it's just not that difficult. So just try your best and don't worry too much.
Don't worry and do. Yes. Great. Thank you, Desirée.
Yeah, I could say, my version of the children, I can say, don't worry, because somebody will realize an amazing device, and with this you can do amazing things. So live your life and don't worry about that.
Yeah.
I actually always talk to my younger self.
Okay.
Yeah. Especially like when there's something big happening in my life, I always remember her, especially growing up in a country that has had so many challenges, the society and so on. There's so much development now everywhere, but still. So it was so tough. So whenever I make something big, I always tell her, like, dream big, because you have no idea what is coming there for you. Or like, I'm so proud of you because you really fought so hard to make me who I am today. So yeah, dream big.
That's a very nice one. And I think that's also a perfect transition for actually now looking into the questions we have coming up there. The first one, if I read that correctly, is I'm a bilateral above knee amputee. Does the Genium X4 have any special features for bilaterals? I guess that's a question which probably goes to you, Malte, or to Sven. You decide among yourselves.
I can give it a try.
Yeah, please do.
Thank you. There is a specific function implemented which is called stand to walk or start walking. Yeah. So when people are standing, and they usually, if they have one prosthesis only, they initiate gait or walking with the sound side. So the second step is with the prosthesis. If you can imagine, there's a bilateral amputee having two prostheses, then it matters which side people started earlier times. So now it doesn't matter anymore, because you can start walking with the prosthesis with the left side or the right side, right, left, changed, and it doesn't matter. So that's intuitively made, and that reduces the strain on the body, the compensational movements, and so on and so on. It's so just starting walking naturally. That's one part. A second function that can be used by bilateral amputees specifically, but not only for them, but also for unilateral amputees, is walking backwards. So the knee joint identifies the motion pattern, and there is a specific function which is provided that they can really push into the prosthesis without having the knee bending too much. So there is a resistance creating or ramping up, so that is walking alternatingly backwards, even safe and much more natural compared to the versions that we had before. And maybe Sven also has some ideas specifically for bilateral amputees, but I don't want to talk about everything.
Yeah, especially for bilateral, walking up the hill is really hard, because normally the prosthesis comes in totally extended position. Yeah, and then you have to step on the prosthesis, overcome the prosthesis. And this with a straight leg is really exhausting. Yeah, especially when you live in the hilly area. And now the system detects automatically, before you step on the ramp or some incline, what angle it has. And this is detected by the movement of the user. It's the same like when you are stepping from a really sticky surface on the ice surface. Yeah, your behavior when you see it is totally different. That means this different behavior can be detected, and then the system acts exactly on this surface you step on. And this at the end leads in a pre-flexed prosthesis. That means that you hit the ramp with a flexed prosthesis, and then the whole movement is controlled so that the user can really step on it, overcome the prosthesis much easier, because the step becomes shorter. And that gives them the chance, especially bilateral amputees, to overcome the prosthesis easier and walk for a longer time up the hill.
Thank you very much. We have 3 more minutes. That means we probably can bring in one more question. There's one which, if I read it correctly, I've heard about different kind of knees working with different kind of propulsion systems, like electronic knee or hydraulic knee. How does the Genium X4 actually work? That's another technical one.
You want to start this time?
And as I said, we only have 3 minutes left.
Yeah.
It was hard about different knee joints. Yeah, the different knee joints, it's really a difference, from being controlled by something or walk on the prosthesis when the system acts as a supporter. Yeah, the hydraulic is really programmed this way that it supports you in every situation like it should do, like like the distance control with the car, like the lane assist for the car. It supports you in the way which you expect when you stand on the X4. And there's nothing which is acting in a way that you are not aware of.
Yeah, I think that's important. Is really this intuitive use. You use your body the very same way, and it's really an extension to your body. As you said, it's my partner, and it's not I have to learn something which the prosthesis tells me you learn this pattern and do this and this, and I think that makes it so much easier. Then pick one which hopefully one of the other users can answer. What is exactly the function that helps when going or walking up the hill? Thank you. As 3 of us use that, or 4 of us use that each and every day and love it, a very quick answer from one of you?
Well, I think it's the same that we told before, no? It's intuitive. So he understands how it is the surface and it can follow you. This is the function. And it's almost the same when you do the stairs. It's much better than before. So you can do an easy movement and it follows. And it's really comfortable compared to the previous one. It's another story. Now it's quicker. And so you can do the stairs in a very easy way.
Yeah.
What is the technical term for the function of going uphill? Is there because we say it's simple words, but is there a technical name for it?
It's really that the system detects it by the sensors inside. And when I, for example, want to walk up the hill, I have to lift up my leg a little bit more, for example. And then the system knows that this is not walking on level ground. It's the same when I want to overcome an obstacle or whatever. The system detects it automatically, and then it leads in a special behavior.
Yeah.
So Zainab has been asking for a term. Yeah. Maybe you can describe it like inclination-depending pre-flexion of the knee joint before stepping on ground. Yeah, it sounds tough, yeah, but that's more or less all in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Well noted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Measuring the incline. Great, thank you very much. There are more questions. Unfortunately, our time is running out. We're basically in the last minute. Thank you very much, everyone here in the studio, obviously. Thank you for coming from Italy. Thank you for joining us from Spain, and all the best in Barcelona on Saturday.
Wait, we have to sing happy birthday for the Genium X4.
Just a second, because I still want to share something.
1 more minute.
One more second. For all of you out there, I strongly encourage you to reach out to the people on Instagram and their various social feed. Also, sign up and follow us on YouTube here, no matter if you're a user, if you're a family member, or if you're a professional. There's great information out there.
Subscribe, everyone.
And otherwise, I just want you to join us for our celebration now. Thank you very much. Have a lovely day. See you soon.
Thank you.
More